Douglas Murray, spot on again. He tells it like it is. He doesn't hold back. Listen in.
I'm so fed up of the double standards on all of this. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Muslims have been killed in the last 12 years by Bashar al-Assad and other Muslims in the civil war in Syria. There's no one on the streets of Sydney or Melbourne. There's no one on the streets of London. We have seen hundreds of thousands of people killed in the last decade in Yemen, Muslims being killed. There's no one on the streets of Melbourne. Nobody is standing outside the Sydney Opera House calling gas the Hutu, or gas the Houthi, gas the Shia, gas the... Nobody's marching for the dead Muslims in Yemen. Their co-religionists, we're always told about, care so much about their co-religionists, don't give a damn about their co-religionists.
How real this is. This is the key. As Golda Meir said, if they would love their children more than hate us, then we wouldn't have the problems we have. But their own children, they're just a tool for political gain or for the afterlife. But they don't really love them.
They really don't. Muslims do not love other Muslims. They have no love for them. They have no love for the Palestinian peoples. None. If they had any, the Jordanians would have taken in the West Bank Palestinians, the Egyptians would have taken in the territory they used to run, the Gaza, and own the Gaza, and they would have taken in the Palestinians from the Gaza. Why have the Egyptians made sure that not one Palestinian is allowed to leave Gaza? Why do they make sure that their border wall is tough as anything? What do they mind? One thing: Jews living. Jews living and Jews winning. It hits them deep in their soul, in their psyche. It's an ancient, ancient hatred. Perhaps the most ancient among the monotheisms. And the deepest and the ugliest, the nastiest, and the one that has been least addressed. And we've imported it. As we sit here, roughly the same population of Gaza is being forcibly moved by the government of Pakistan. Almost 2 million Muslims are being moved by the Pakistani authorities into Afghanistan. Okay, we have a very large Pakistani community here in the UK. If their country of origin can do that, why can't we? If it comes to that, if it has to come to that. Why does nobody notice this? Why is nobody saying this is an appalling war crime by the Pakistani government? Well, only because there are so many Pakistani politicians and others in the UK and other countries who have a deep connection to their country of origin and would never want to see it looked at in a bad way. They will not criticize that. They haven't said a word about that. So, no, I think that if you are zooming in on Israel, lambasting Israel, and are basically not bothered with everything else in the world, you're not motivated by anything other than being anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic. Of course, and it just has to be said. I mean, I've said this so many times that I tire myself with it, but it's necessary to say anti-Semitism is a shapeshifter. It's a shape-shifting virus. It can come from anywhere. At times in the past, it was the case that people didn't like Jews because they were seen to be a different religion and strange and different, and so they were hated for their religion. Then after the wars of religion, you couldn't hate anyone for their religion, so people started to hate the Jews for their race. Then after the Holocaust, you couldn't hate people because of their race anymore, so people hated the Jews because of their nation. On and on.
Powerful truth that has been said. Let me say the flip side about the Jewish people. The Jewish people are like a one-body entity. If the hand is in pain, the whole body feels it. We have seen this throughout history, that when there is a problem with a Jew in one place in the world Jewry is either on trial or there to help and save that one individual. We are one family that care for each other, not always lovingly, because sometimes we have disputes with each other, but yet we care for each other. And deep down, it is lovingly, because there's a deep bond that we have between each other. That's something very unique and very special. Take note of it, the world, and learn from it rather than try to squash it, because that will never happen. The Jewish people are eternal. We're the only people that have been scattered amongst nations and still maintain our faith, our traditions, our beliefs, our religion, whether in the place that we dwell in, or eventually we'll come back home as Jews are coming back home to the Holy Land.